Descriptive statistics include uh, uh, many different uh, methods and techniques that describes the data that you've obtained. Many people thought that descriptive statistics are the tools to visualize the data, such as the graphical techniques, bar chart, pie chart, histogram, and so on. It's a misunderstanding. As a matter of fact, descriptive statistics examines mainly the central tendency and dispersion level of a series of data. So data presentation or the charts and diagrams are only part of descriptive statistics. Let's look at the two most commonly examined descriptive statistics that I've mentioned. So the first one is the measure of central tendency, and the second one is measure of dispersion. Each of these measures, or each of these descriptive statistics, has a different measurement or different proxies or indicators. We look at each of these indicators. For example, for measure of central tendency, we have mean, median, and mode. For measure of dispersion, we have range, variance, and standard deviation. The measure of central tendency basically examines where the central position or the median position or the average value of a series of data. By a series of data, I mean it's not just one numerical data. That could be an integer, or it could be a, a, a number with decimal places. But we're looking at a series of data, so it's not just one entry. It's a few data. And these data indicate the changes of a certain value. They could be the same value. For example, they could be temperature, but they are multiple observations of the same value, that is the temperature over time, for example, or over different samples. Then the first notion in terms of measure of central tendency is mean value. A mean value is really easy to understand. It is basically the average value of a series of data. For example, if you look at this series of data here, 1, 4, 5, 8, 10, 12, 12, 12, 16, and 20, the mean value, to calculate the mean value, it's really easy. You just need to add them together and divide it by how many values you've got in total. So we've got 10 numbers in total, then you just need to add them up and divide it by 10. And that's exactly how to calculate the average value. Bear in mind that sometimes although each of your value could be integers, but the average might have a decimal place. The second notion that indicate the central tendency of a series of data is median. And median is not average value anymore. Median actually indicates the position when you rearrange the series of data from the smallest value to the largest. Or you could rearrange the data from the largest to the smallest value. But the median will be the same. So if you look at this series of data and try to find out the median position or the median value, then the first thing you need to do is basically rearrange this series of data from the smallest to the largest, or from the largest to the smallest value. And you need to find the number that sits in the middle. So in this case, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 numbers. So the number sits in the middle will have a 5 on the left and 5 on the right, but it's not 8, of course, because it hasn't been arranged from the smallest to the largest yet. If you have even number of observations, for example, you have 8 numbers here, then the median position is actually between 7 and 8, then the median value is actually the average of 7 and 8, which is 7.5. The last proxy or indicator for central tendency is the notion of mode. And mode does not examine average value or the median position. Instead, mode calculates the frequency of certain value appeared in that series of data. So it basically look at which value has appeared most often in that series of data. In this case here, we have 1, 3, 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 12, 12, 7, and we could see that 6 appeared 3 times, 7 appeared 3 times as well. 12 appeared 2 times, 1 and 3 both appeared only once. So the most frequent value are actually 6 and 7. So the mode for this series of data is 6 and 7. And in case of the 1, 4, 5, 8, 10, 12, 12, 12, 16, 20, only 12 has appeared 3 times, then the mode is 12. You might think that the mode is not accurate in terms of interpreting the central tendency, but mode is actually a very important notion when we start to deal with categorical variables. We'll talk about continuous and categorical variable in later videos.